Superhero landing. She gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it. Woo! Superhero landing. Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
Welcome to Kicking It with Sensei and day 6 of our Female Warrior Week. And today we're joined with actors, stunt woman, ninja, professional baton twirler, and professional badass, Michelle Smith. And you're very welcome, Michelle. And if you'd like to give our audience just a brief introduction to yourself.
Hi, sorry you lagged there for a second.
Yeah, I was just saying if you'd like to give our audience a brief introduction to who you are.
Yeah, I'm Michelle, as you just mentioned. I am I like to say I'm a professional badass, but I don't know if that's appropriate for everyone. But yeah, I've been an elite athlete my entire life. I started in the sport of baton twirling, and I went all the way to the highest level of that sport, which is an international world level. In my training, because I was training at a high level, I also did dance and gymnastics at the same time. Got to the top of that sport, won medals at Worlds, did all you can do, and then moved into being a professional. And then I moved out to Vancouver to be a dancer, and then got into circus, which got me into martial arts and stunt work and acting. And I've been working in film full time for the past 12 years. And for the past like 3 or 4 years, I've been teaching since I was 15. So I've been teaching for almost 20 years now. And yeah, I just really started taking my specialty, which is weapons manipulation, specifically staff and sword. And that comes from my baton twirling background. And I've just made it something new because I realized through my whole life and my training that people who want to learn it, they just don't have a way in unless you're like a little girl who wants to do baton twirling. So my whole thing is taking freestyle staff spinning, which is like technical staff spinning, and making it more accessible to everyone, regardless of your age, gender, whatever. Like it's going to be there for everyone. And it's brought me so much confidence and courage and creativity and into my life. And it's taking me all over the world that I want everyone else to have that. I want everyone else to feel really solid and confident and authentic in themselves. And the best way I can help people do that is through this thing that gave that to me. So that's what I've been doing. I've been just teaching and teaching and teaching and working, and here we are. I'm just going to keep going and keep sharing.
Excellent. And you work as a professional stunt woman, and you've worked in films such as Red Riding Hood and Deadpool. I was kind of half hoping you'd do the superhero landing coming in, but how did you first get started in doing stunts in films and movies?
Sorry, we lagged there again.
It's very bad signal here today. But how did you first get started in stunt work in movies?
In stunts, stunts sort of found me. Actually, when I moved out here to work professionally, I wanted to work in film, and I assumed that would be acting, and it has been in its own way. I didn't actually know, it didn't occur to me that being a stunt performer would be something that was available that I could do. I didn't know anybody who was a stunt performer, and it was through when I was doing circus. The circus community here in Vancouver is pretty tight with the film community. So there's some crossover there. And so when I was working with this professional circus company, I started meeting these stunt people, and I had seen somebody when we were training playing with a sword. I was like, oh, I can do that. And then like, here's the sword, and here I go spinning it around. And they're like, oh, it's cool, you should do stunts. I was like, yeah. And then it just sort of like that seed was planted, and over the course of like 6 months, it would have been, I really started considering that, because I was definitely in a space of transitioning. It was either go to the National Circus School in Montreal, or maybe let's try the stunt thing. And as soon as I sort of like let myself ponder the idea of doing the stunt thing, it sort of just opened, a door opened for me, and I started training. I started with Muay Thai. because they said if you want to be a stunt performer, especially stunt woman, you have to learn how to fight and you have to learn how to fall down. Like, I already knew how to fall down. I didn't know how to fight, but I had this huge movement background. I was like, oh, I could learn how to do that. So I started with Muay Thai, and I just fell in love with it and just sort of just dove in head first. And my first stunt gig was a motion capture gig for Barbie and the Three Musketeers, where I had to do just like very traditional fencing. And it was fun because I was like, I feel so comfortable having something in my hand, and they're like, here's a new way to move it around, and I was just hooked. And then the first movie I ever did was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. And yeah, it just sort of unfolded for me in that first year. I got into the union really, really quickly. And then after that, I had to really, really work for it because people are all of a sudden like, who's this person that suddenly wants in? And so I had to really prove myself and push and battle to be seen, to be heard, to feel respected and feel valued within the industry. And I'm still working on that. And yeah, so it just sort of was something that fell into my lap. That at first the opportunity was there, but then if I wanted to follow through and continue moving, I realized that I would have to work for it and just keep walking forward towards that goal of being a full-time stunt performer and film professional.
Excellent. Well, you're known as being an excellent stunt woman, and you're also known for your love of cats, especially George and Ozzy, your two cats. And have you ever thought of combining the two and going for the role of Catwoman?
I have wanted to be Catwoman since I was 7 years old when I saw Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns being Catwoman. She was so cool and so sexy and just so crazy. Like she had a mental breakdown, and for some reason I really resonated with that. I had her poster like this on my wall for years when I was a kid. So yeah, I definitely thought about Catwoman. I just sort of lived the part. If there's anybody in the world that could be real life superheroes, it's stunt performers, because we kind of live that life in a way. So I just lived the life of Catwoman, and I'm just hoping that art will start imitating my life, and then they'll bring me in for Catwoman. But I do know that they just hired Zoe Kravitz to be Catwoman in another movie, and I'm sure she'll be wonderful. So I'll just wait my turn. Hopefully it'll come. I would love to do some more videos with my cats in them. They're just, they're cats. They have a mind of their own. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna do. It's proving difficult. They're all sitting by the window over there now.
Yeah. We've worked on a lot of different movies. Is there any of the big franchises that you would like to work with in the future?
Yeah, I would definitely love to work. Obviously, I'd love to work on Star Wars, just because I have a really, really, really cool, unique lightsaber fight in my head that I would love to do at work. I would love to go to work and meet up with the stunt team and be like, here's my vision, and just like make it happen. So I would really love to do that, obviously, but I'm not attached to any specific franchise. I think what's happening in the film industry right now is a lot of things are shifting, and I think that's good because I think that it's going to allow for new things to come up. So I would love to be part of a new big franchise, like how Marvel suddenly became this huge thing. I think there's going to be another huge thing, and I would love to be a part of that. I'd love to be a part of something new. That being said, if Marvel or Disney or any of those studios are calling and offering me a job, I will definitely consider it. But yeah, I would love to do something new. I think the world is ready for something new. We've had so many Marvel movies and so many Star Wars movies, and that there's unlimited amount of ideas out there.
Yeah. Well, as this feature this week is aimed towards female martial artists, what advice would you give young girls that want to work towards going into a career in stunts?
I would definitely say you need to not be afraid of hard work, regardless of your skill level, regardless of what sort of talent you just naturally have. And regardless of what people are saying, if you really want something, if you really, any career moving forward, like as an adult, but especially in film, there's a lot of competition, and it can really, focusing on all of the negative aspects of it can really sort of put you in a negative space. So if you're going to move forward with a career in stunts or film specifically, especially as a woman, you have to be like really good with yourself and really taking time to think about what you enjoy doing, where you feel like you can add value to a production or any idea, and what your natural strengths and your natural weaknesses are. It's really good to know all those things, because then you can come in with a solid foundation. And if you can stand really solid in yourself and feel really good about yourself, and just sort of turn down the volume on what other people are saying, because people are going to talk regardless, then you're coming in with a much more stable foundation to build a really wonderful, happy and healthy career. But it's not necessarily going to be easy. There may be parts of it that become easy, but there's definitely going to be days, grit your teeth and push through. And those are moments that educate you and the people around you of what you're capable of. And if you can push through those moments where you really have to sort of battle your way through, you're going to come out stronger for it. And so I definitely would say, try not to be afraid of hard work. There's a difference between overworking and hardworking, but if you can find that balance, and that just takes a little bit of experimentation, then any door you want will open up for you. And it's just a matter, and that starts when you're young. That starts when you're competing in tournaments, when you're in your teens or even younger. Is just not being afraid to push yourself to that next level and really own your skills. And there's always room for improvement. Always. There will, like, that will never change for the rest of your life. So just owning and appreciating the skills that you do have, and then also acknowledging that there's still more work for you to do, that puts you in a really humble, neutral space. And then if you can push through with that, you're going to be able to do anything. So don't be afraid of hard work. Just keep going, and turn down the volume on what other people say, because it's not about you. Their reactions to what you're doing has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. Just keep going. Just keep stepping. Just keep moving.
Yeah. Excellent. And just as you're saying about hard work, I know during this coronavirus and a lot of lockdowns, everybody just kind of switched off and started to relax. But I know you started on YouTube doing daily classes in freestyle staff. Did you ever think it would go on as long as it has? You're on day 100. You're on day 175 now. Did you think you were going to be doing it this long? Hello, can you hear me?
You just cut out for a couple seconds there. You're talking about the daily live streams?
Yeah, the daily live streams. Did you think way back at the start in March that you would be doing it until now?
Yeah. So basically what happened was, before the whole lockdown happened, I was working full time in film. I was literally just going from show to show to show. And the thing is, when you're working in film, you're working really, really long hours. You're working 12 to 16 hours a day. And then it's just sort of rinse and repeat. And so you get into this cycle. But the thing that keeps people in is they make so much money. And I was really getting to a point where I just was like, I'm not happy doing this, but I was experiencing a lot of success and a lot of luxury. And so I didn't know how to stop. And then this lockdown happened. I wrapped the series that I was on the day lockdown happened. So that was my last day of work. Timing worked perfectly. I was supposed to fly out to Toronto to work on another show, but I had at least 4 or 5 days before I had to do that. Lockdown happened, and I just, right away, I saw an opportunity. Like I had said, I've been wanting to build a platform, and I've had a platform built for a couple of years now, of sharing freestyle staff spinning and building a community and building a brand behind that. And as soon as that lockdown happened, there was like a light bulb went off, And I said, this is an opportunity and I'm not going to waste it. So I gave myself 2 days. I gave myself a weekend where I just did absolutely nothing. And then on the Monday, March 16th, I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew, like, my intuition was saying, just put on a live stream because people need something to do right now. People need something to distract them from what's happening in the world, because what's happening in the world is weird and scary and strange. And I knew that I had the capacity to stand in that space and stand tall and say, hey, not ignoring everything that's happening, but let's just do this for a second and have a moment and have a good time and learn something new. And so I just started doing these live streams, and I didn't know how often I wanted to do them, but it just became this thing where we're doing them every day because everybody was inside. And then we just kept going. And then as soon as we got to like day 40, day 50, we started having this conversation of, wouldn't it be cool if we got to day 100? And then we got to day 100 and we're like, wouldn't it be cool if we got to 200? And today I have a live stream in a couple hours. Today will be 175. So there's only been a few days here and there when I haven't done a live stream. And now that I'm back, that film has started back, and I'm working on a TV show right now, I'm very protective of these live streams. And I came in when the production called me to come back in. I said, yeah, thank you for having me. Here are my schedule constraints, and here's what I want. And I've really shifted since then. Like, these live streams have created such a wonderful space in my life and other people's lives. And there's this community that's built through it. And that's what I wanted. And I couldn't do that when I was working full time in film. So now I'm like, oh, I'm going to focus on this. This live stream freestyle staff spinning I'm having the time of my life. And I don't want to drop that for anything. So when I came back into film, it's like, actually, I will only be working in film part-time. You can have me for this many days, and I'm not going to be working every day. I'm not going to be going to set. There will be specific contracts and gigs that come up down the line that I will be like, okay, I'm going to focus just on that. But right now I'm just trying to find the balance between the two, knowing that these live streams and the freestyle staff community is there's so much love and support there between everyone who's in it, that like, that's what I want to hone in on, because I really do believe that part of what's sort of happened in the world is we're all focused on these material things and these external things. But if we were to, I don't know, crazy idea, just turn around and focus on the things that bring us joy and the things we enjoy doing, and just doing things for fun and for the process of learning, I think that everyone would be happier in general, and be more peaceful in general, and be kinder and more compassionate and inclusive in general. So I'm just trying to, my solution to everything that's happening right now is just like, my goal is just to create an open and safe and inclusive place of learning and fun. That's it. That's all I want to build, and we'll see where that takes us. And so, I just like, now that I'm working in film, I'm like, you guys can sit back. This is way more fun.
It is definitely more fun. I've been in martial arts over 20 years and regularly use staffs. And I think it's been the first time in a long time I've started dropping it again. It's just fun doing fishtails, reverse fishtails. It's so different from martial arts. It's just a lot of fun, and the community in it is great.
And you know, it's even different from the way I grew up in Baton, because in Baton it was so strict. It was very I always say martial arts and dance are very comparable. There's that reverence and honor, and there's traditions and there's rules that you follow, and Baton was very much like that as well, and it was very serious. And I was like trained not to drop. Like, dropping was bad, and it really messed with my head. And so now with all of my students, you have to drop it. You're never not going to learn it. So I just want people to be okay with dropping it, because dropping doesn't mean you're failing. Dropping just means you're learning. So just drop it as many times as you want. If you're doing it in a competitive or professional arena, there's a different process of training and rehearsing that you would go into through that. But the initial stages of just learning, God, just drop the thing. Like, just drop it and have fun and catch it sometimes, drop it at other times, and and get frustrated. It's okay, but then like be elated when you catch it. And because that's the other thing that I was never allowed to do, was I was never allowed to celebrate when I did something cool. Like you kept everything just sort of even, and I'm like, nah, no, let's not do that. Let's just enjoy this and have a good time.
Perfect. And finally, Michelle, how can people get in contact with you and become part of the Badass family?
Oh, there's so many ways. The easiest way is to follow me on Instagram. It's at michelle.c.smith. My TikTok is the same handle, at michelle.c.smith. Our live streams, the Badass Family live streams, are on YouTube. So if you want to follow me on YouTube, you just look up my name. It's Michelle Krista Smith. We do those every day on there. I'll usually put the class up a few hours ahead so you can see what time it is, but it's really good if you hit the little bell icon, because it'll notify you when I post those. And also I usually post the class times on Instagram as well. I try my best to do both, but I mostly post on Instagram. So any of my personal new videos will go up on Instagram. There's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube. And then I do have online group classes that run and an online training platform. So there's lots of ways to train with me, and all of that can be found at my website, michellecsmith.com. And if you want a free staff spinning course that has 5 essential skills of staff spinning, you can go to badassacademy.online and you get a free course. And a lot of people really like that because it gives you a little combo at the end.
Yeah, I'm working on that myself at the minute, slowly, but yeah. Well, it was a pleasure having you on, Michelle. Thanks very much.
It's not a skill you're going to learn today.
It was an honor having you on, Michelle. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very glad that we did this, and it's nice to see you in person. I see you on the live stream.
Chat every night in live stream. Thank you.
That's one of the things that I really love about those live streams is getting to know people. So I'm really happy that we got to do this.
Yeah, excellent. And we'll speak tonight at the live stream.
On the live stream. All right.
Okay.